All right, let's get into it. Today, we're taking a deep dive into an absolutely terrifying story to really understand what makes psychological horror tick. We're going to go through it step by step and see how an ordinary day at school gets twisted into a total nightmare. So let's just jump right in at the deep end, shall we? This line says, "A severed hand emerged from that sack, coming towards him." This is, without a doubt, the most bone-chilling image in the whole story. Just keep that picture in your head, because as we go, you're going to see exactly how brilliantly this entire story builds to this one horrifying moment. You know, the best horror stories, they always need to start somewhere normal, just so they have something to completely destroy. So our first section is exactly that, a normal day. This is where we get settled, meet our main character, and get comfortable, right before the rug gets pulled out from under us. So here's our setup, and it's about as normal as it gets. We've got our protagonist, Jonathan, a 13-year-old kid. He's at boarding school, sitting through a regular old classroom lecture. See, it's relatable, it's boring, and that's exactly the point. The more mundane the start, the more jarring it is when things go sideways. And there it is, the first little crack in that ordinary world. A junior teacher person whispers something to the professor, and boom, class is dismissed. It's sudden, there's no explanation, and it's the very first sign that something is very, very wrong. Okay, so things just went from a little weird to genuinely scary. We're now at the inciting incident, the moment where the story really kicks into high gear. A threat is about to be introduced, and the whole world is about to change with a single order. And then, bam! The announcement comes: lockdown. The entire school. No one in, no one out. No leaving the premises for any reason. Just like that, the safe, structured world of a boarding school has become a prison, and nobody knows why. So, of course, this is the question on everyone's mind. It's hanging over everything, just feeding the fear and the suspense. I mean, what could possibly be happening that's so bad you have to lock down an entire school full of kids? And the answer, it's just about the worst thing you could imagine. A serial killer has struck nearby, and now he's on the loose. He's somewhere in the area. Suddenly, the threat isn't just some story on the news. It's real, it's close, and it's a danger to absolutely everyone inside that school. But here's where things get really clever. This detail, it's more than just gruesome. This is a crucial bit of foreshadowing: missing right hands. It's such a specific, chilling little detail, and it plants a seed in your mind, a seed that's going to grow into absolute terror for our friend Jonathan a little later on. So, while the whole school is freaking out about this killer on the loose, the story does something brilliant. It zooms in. It shifts from this big external threat that everyone is facing to a private, personal horror that's happening to just one person. This is Jonathan's terrifying secret. Right when you think things can't get any scarier, Jonathan's world gets a whole new layer of terror. It's like there's the horror outside the walls, and then there's this. Every single night, he hears a man screaming, and it sounds like it's coming from right beside his bed. And this is what makes it true psychological horror. The question on the slide says it all. Why only Jonathan? Is this real? Is he losing his mind? This is the detail that completely isolates him. I mean, it says it right there. No one other than him could hear that loud voice. Think about how terrifying that is. You're surrounded by people, but you're trapped in a private nightmare that no one else can see or hear. It's an incredibly powerful way to build horror. So, night after night of this torment, finally, he can't take it anymore. He has to know. He works up the courage to actually investigate. And as you can see, this is where his personal nightmare starts to collide with the real-world one. He finds a trail of fresh blood, which leads him straight to a big, heavy, leaking sack sitting near the guards' quarters. And this is it. This is the moment everything has been building towards. The psychological horror and the physical threat are about to slam into each other in one of the most terrifying chase scenes you can imagine. He sees this awful sack, and his brain is screaming, "Get help, run." He does the smart thing. He turns to go get the warden, but just as he's about to escape, he hears it. A noise from inside the sack. And there it is, the payoff. Remember we talked about the killer's signature, that little piece of foreshadowing? Well, it's not just a detail anymore. It's real. It's here, and it's crawling towards him. I mean, can you even imagine? Let's just walk through this absolute nightmare. First, the impossible happens. A severed hand comes out of the sack. Second, it starts moving. crawling towards him. Third, he finally breaks and just runs for his life screaming. And then his mind just shatters. In his panic, he's convinced that a whole swarm of these things are now scrambling after him. Okay, so, wow, the immediate terror is over. The screaming worked. But what happens after a moment like that? Let's talk about the aftermath. We'll look at how things get resolved, and more importantly, the scars that get left behind. And look, the practical stuff gets sorted out pretty quickly. Jonathan's screams bring everyone running, the police are called, they find the killer hiding in a classroom on the campus itself. And, horribly, they confirm Jonathan's story. The sack was exactly what he thought it was, full of the victim's hands. But this right here, this is the real punch to the gut of the story. It shows us two totally different endings. For the school, the story's over. The bad guy is caught, things go back to normal. The threat was temporary. But for Jonathan, the story never ends. The killer might be gone, but the trauma is permanent. For him, the horror lives on. So that leaves us with this one haunting question, doesn't it? Was what Jonathan felt real or not? We know the hands were real, but was one of them actually chasing him? Or was that just his terrified mind breaking? And in the end, does it even matter? The story leaves you right there, wondering about that blurry, terrifying line between what's real and the horror that lives inside our own heads.